Bitcoin struggles, DeFi continues to soar, and a cold wind creeps into the Forex markets as we begin to see volatility die down. All this and more in today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Welcome back to Breaking Bitcoin. This is your daily source for everything cryptocurrency and personal finance. My name is Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from. We got a fantastic show for you guys today. So much I want to talk about. A few things in the news, obviously. $1 billion in Ethereum vulnerability as far as tokens. A lot of this has to do with, as I understand it, a network upgrade. We'll get to that in a second. It is... I'm just sitting here reminiscing the last 2 days, hearing the Bitcoin maximalists in one Discord server talk about how Ethereum is a scam. And then every single person who's making money in DeFi right now talk about how Ethereum is, I guess, the opposite of a scam. But anyways, Bitcoin obviously struggling. So let's get right to the charts and break today's movements down. And again, if that first reference during the opening was a little obscure for you guys, looking at the foreign currency markets, looking at the Forex markets, which is certainly the second... It is I trade cryptocurrency more actively. I trade Forex secondly actively, if that makes sense. There we go. And I've seen volatility not die down right now, but the indicators are suggesting that that is what is going to be happening in the future, which gives us some very interesting setups and insights into risk on assets, including Bitcoin, but more specifically gold and assets. So with that being said, let's get to the charts. Let's do this, guys. All right, smooth and cool transitions today. Do not want an update from Notepad++. Let me get the live chat popped out. All right. Oh, if I can get it over here. There we go. All right, let me know how you guys are doing. I see ANCAP futures. Mihaela, Smiles, JHTGAJI. He asks if we can look at JMIA today. Absolutely. Why not? ACDC, you go chill. Gotta love this thumbnail. Yeah, it's high stakes, man. You gotta know when to fold them. Robert Warner, as always, Mr. Ether, thank you for joining us. Mr. Unicorn, John, I love the snow, and Loop Patient, Peckham, Profit Bear, CNM, Rhino TD, and Forex Meister. Good to see you in the crib, Forex Meister. Good guys, we got all the regulars here. Cool, because we got a lot to talk about. All right, so I want you guys to look deep within your souls. Deep within your trading souls, and ask yourself, do I believe in Bitcoin here? Well, the answer for me is yes. So for the WSOT competition, by the way, shout out to Bybit, by the way, for sending the WSOT, I don't know what you want to call this. This is pretty cool thing. There's stuff inside, t-shirts, sunglasses, and whatnot. So I'm going to be giving all that away at the conclusion of the WSOT stream. Probably like top prize. The t-shirt seems pretty cool. And there's a backpack and sunglasses and so I know junior analyst. Charts in the way. Okay, you can't see it. Yeah, sorry, my bad. But you guys saw it in the full scene. You guys can go back if you want. But anyways, if I know junior analyst Jason is coming over today, so. If I can prevent him from taking this, I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to be, but it's certainly a cool Rubik's Cube triangle WSOT thing. So we'll be giving all that away just as some swag to YouTube viewers and also to the participants in the WSOT. So with that being said, looking at Bitcoin here, I did have a long position open from 2 days. It was actually Sunday when I returned from the weekend. It is not... I'm pretty sure it is not the Illuminati, but I will say, if the Illuminati were in league with a cryptocurrency exchange, I would rather trade on that one than the one that's not in league with the Illuminati. Just saying, probably get better, less slippage over there. Oh shoot! What a professional show we're running up in here. What did I do? There we go. There we go. I kicked something with my foot. Sorry guys, I moved my lighting and I put them. Moving on. So I have a long position open from Sunday, and I did decide to add to my position. Let's go and look at that. I think the biggest narrative, or probably the most conservative thing, or probably the most traditional thing that I'm hearing from individuals coming to me with chart recommendations or telling me what they think about the market is support and resistance right now at this current level, and then this concept of a weekly rejection. So let's look at the weekly rejection, for example, and see what legs we can put behind that. Yeah, don't worry, guys. I will edit that out in post, but hey, this is the stuff you get on a live stream. So let's go look at that weekly reversal. We're going to go over here to the daily time frame. Pretty large, good sell-sized candle from Bitcoin. And here's the thing. There are two things that's going to occur from this. There really is a third option, but I think that if that happens, we are going to, I don't know. A lot of people are going to roll their eyes. What I'm talking about is with this size of a candle, look at I just have the CCEMA script up, for example, but this is the 8, the 13, the 21, breaking through some fairly significant exponential moving averages here. Many baselines, particularly just about any sensitive baseline, is going to be signaling for short trades, or that the direction of the market is flipping bearish. I do not concur with that. My baseline is down at 10,600. That's a pretty decent correction. We really haven't had a correction of that sort in this bullish run, and everything feels right, guys. There's two possibilities. Obviously, we've topped out, and we are seeing a lot of these Ethereum projects, for example, which seem to be getting the most traction, doing their exit pumps, because this is exactly what we saw in 2018, for example. And this is broadly how markets logically top. You have the most liquid asset that individuals are watching and utilizing as a bellwether. And although Ethereum is want to admit it, Bitcoin is certainly the bellwether for how the cryptocurrency markets move up or down, because so much liquidity is locked in there. And it's kind of interesting to see now how much liquidity, how much capital Bitcoin provides to Ethereum as well, in the form of wrapped Bitcoin. Think about that for a second. But anyways, let's go to the weekly chart, and we'll start with that. So there are a few reasons that I don't view this as a very strong weekly reversal. First off, we can say, okay, that we did have a weekly doji. The previous weekly close was a doji. It's only Tuesday, by the way. So the fact that we have the current shape of the candle, which seems to be, we'll call it a bearish engulfing, but certainly a red sell side candle with sellers in control. This weekly candle hasn't closed. We do not know how strong the bounce will be, and we haven't seen the strength of the buyers or the buyback. We haven't established support. That's also one concept I'll talk about when we get to support. Support is a thing. Resistance is a thing. They can become useful in strategies. They can be quite great in strategies and in discretionary trading. But support and resistance aren't significant, or you cannot expect things to happen there just because. You really would like to see a reaction from those levels. For example, break, pullback, and continuation trade setups, or rounded retest setups. Two of the strategies that we talk about on the in the horizontal support and resistance guide. You want to see a reaction there. You want to see that, yes, this is a level where people bought before. Okay, well, are they going to buy now? So the other thing here, I do have this, and I understand that a lot of individuals can't get access to this because JD Lim is no longer adding people, and his Telegram group has largely gone dark. I am not ready to promise you guys that I am going to take on the task of reprogramming this indicator. What I will tell you is that I will show it on stream more, because this is pretty high requested. But we have a 6 on the TD sequential system right now, which is not signaling for the end of this trend. So we haven't even flipped to the red. So we do actually have like a couple weeks. We have a couple weeks, 2 weeks, in which we can maintain the bullish momentum, particularly on this TD sequential, and also stay within the TD range. TD range is decent here. So the only other thing, and I think this is what most individuals are going to be looking for, is that we are going to be overbought on most momentum oscillators. So let's take a look, for example, at ISISpot. And then we can also take a look at Minx, for example. So we'll take a look here at ISISpot, and we can see that we are getting a weekly sell signal. So we are in overbought territory. We have our main line. We have our momentum oscillator crossing underneath our signal line in overbought territory. That is your atypical classic sell signal, that we are overextended. The price has gone up too far, and we are going to have a correction, if not a change in trend. Now, I want to point something out. This is probably, I have to do the math on this. I'm sorry, I don't know right off the top of my head, but I believe this is close to a goodly amount of time. This might be the most time. Yeah, this might be the most time that we've spent above 10,000. Yeah, I think it is. So this is A, untested waters, and B, listen, fundamentally, there's a part of me that has to enjoy and has to anticipate something continuing like we saw in 2017. So I wanted to point out that sell side signal because let me throw on the logarithmic chart here. And what did we get on multiple run-ups in 2017? Here well, this is December 2015. I'm sorry, but let me roll over here. Yeah, okay. So at the very beginning of 2017 in January, so also you can see that in 2016 and 2015, we had multiple sell side signals. If individuals really are as bullish on Bitcoin as they claim, right? If they really do believe that we are heading to 100,000, that we're doing the stock to flow model, that we really are going to bid up to six figures, then they must be anticipating, something like what occurred in 2016, 2017. I do think that there are good arguments to the contrary. For example, they're more conservative arguments. They're the arguments I would normally make that, listen, as liquidity pushes into a system, as you have more money sloshing around, the gains go down, the returns go down because everybody is now chasing yield. It's easy to earn yield when there's nobody at the door. It's so easy to earn yield in DeFi at the current moment, for example, that I'm not saying that a few projects haven't already done this, but you can just go fork an ERC20 development token, make a few Medium articles, make a few posts on 4chan's Biz, make a few posts on Twitter, troll Ivan on text live chat, and maybe, secure $15 million in liquidity. And by liquidity, I mean theft. So be careful out there, guys. Certainly make sure you're verifying your token contracts. All right, so potential weekly resistance. We talked about this yesterday, 12,000, a meme number, a number that I really don't give that much import and significance. But overall here, we do see the ISIS bot sell side signal. We can heed that as it is a good signal, or depends on how you feel about the upcoming market. We got multiple of these signals in 2015, 2016, and we did have a correction. But I would say the last correction certainly wasn't worth. We were already at the low by the time we that we got that actual signal, right? So you have to look at opportunity cost. And that's exactly why, when we'll get down to the daily here. So final thoughts on this chart, sorry. And if you guys have thoughts, comments, do you want to ask some questions, please give me your input. But my overall thoughts are on this. This does not look like the end of a run, okay? We have a very nice step up, consolidation, reaccumulation, okay? Reaccumulation for several months, and then a push to that mythical number of not really 12,000, it's 10,000 that was the mythical number, if you guys want a mythical number. So Bitcoin is now normalized at 5 digits, okay? It's not, I don't see really the significance here of 12,000. Again, certainly would pay more heed to horizontal support and resistance if we were looking at that than diagonal, which we made a big hullabaloo about breaking. Everybody did. But this does not a market top strike me. I could be wrong, but I'm willing to be wrong. And certainly on the lower time frames, let's go to the daily. All right, so the daily, the time frame that I actively trade, the daily is okay here. It's going to take a while probably for a reversal baseline bounce. Again, we have another 2 weeks where we can maintain that bullish momentum, at least as far as TD sequential is concerned. But as far as my trading system here, or the one that I am showcasing on the stream is concerned, we can move down to 10,600 and maintain that bullish bias. And if we take a look at IFT RSI, for example, which is a smoothed out form of the RSI, we're pretty close to being oversold already on the daily time frame. So although I do think potentially there can be some opportunity, not at this current price level, but on a pullback, on a correction, for example, which we'll go to the 4 hour here in a minute and find that. I do not think that shorting now is the best. Yeah, we'll look at opportunity cost here in a little bit. And I do want to point out that it's okay. I am not mad at you. Where's that Donchian system? Here it is. Yeah, so I am certainly not upset with you if you are on the daily time frame in a short position. Let's take a look at the old Donchian system here. And this is not actually signaling for a short right now because of dynamic money flow. And that's very similar to, if I may, I actually haven't looked at this, so I hope I don't embarrass myself. But on balance volume, and I actually just go ahead and look at. Shoot. OBV. I had the one that I like. It's the one by Lazy Bear, but I digress. We'll just use the built-in. Yeah. Yeah, even on the daily time frame, the OBV is not, I want to say it's diverging from the way price is moving, but it's certainly holding its own and steady and flat. I'll look at that in a few more days. Again, somebody had pointed that out to me. I got 3 charts this morning talking about the OBV and how it was indicating bearish divergence, and that's an interesting one. Certainly, I like volume momentum oscillators. I think they're neat. That's an interesting opportunity to utilize that for divergence, typically done with momentum oscillators, RSI, MACD, for example. But I digress. So if you are utilizing a system that's signaling a short, that's okay. Right? I'm certainly not mad at you. The only reason you would be running a system that would be calling for a short here anyways is because you've already played the tape long enough with your back testing and forward testing to know that this system is not going to get it right every single time and will take losing trades. But overall, the series of trades that you will take over a year, over a month, over 2 years, 3 years, however long you decide to make this your profession, it is worth it. So that's okay. So I could be wrong with the choice that I made this morning, and you guys, or those of you who are, could be incorrect for shorting. We'll see how it plays out. Now, I didn't really want to focus on that chart too much. I wanted to go look at the roadmap, right? So one thing, we are still in the take profit zone area that I've measured out for the rectangle top. Again, this is an area high liquidity. We can go look at, go look at the weekly. This confirms we have not broken weekly lows, and because I am want to point out the obvious. Again, I feel like I've been saying this for a week. I have. We have not made a lower low. Okay, we have not made a lower low on the daily time frame. The previous low is just a little bit below us, around 11,044. Although on the meso time frames, again, I doubled my position here, so I am long at the current moment. Although I do think we're going to get a correction here. If we do raid liquidity below 11,044, that would be a bad area to place your stop loss. Let me tell you one thing. For those buying the dip, by the way, and shout out to you if you're buying the dip. If you're trading with discretion, this is a terrible environment. Buying pullbacks is always the worst situation to set a discretionary long, because you'll often place your long below a previous low, a previous swing low, because that's what some of the dudes tell you to do on YouTube. And it seems logical, right? It's just a logical place. Your mind is trained by the way the chart looks, because that is a logical area in your mind to place a stop loss. And you think to yourself, well, if price goes that low, surely price is bearish. Often that's not the case. And individuals will take advantage of that. That's many, I'm not saying many, but that is a common edge for individuals who have a edge with speed or volume, for example, right? So desks, firms, props. Let me go back to the chat here. I've been ignoring these 2 questions. Alex, good to see you in the chat. He says, I'm up so much this month. It is hard to feel too bad about a down week. That's correct. Yeah, that's exactly right. It is the series of trades that you'll take over time. Caprica says, if we're at the start of a big bull run, it will be hard to beat, buy, and hold. Yes, and you know what it is hard to do? It is hard to buy and hold for many individuals. Blue Box says, in each of those sell signals, did the indicator reset or even break below the top line? You're talking about ISIS bots with regard to the weekly time frame. Let's go take a gander. Yep. And we'll go to here. All right. Come on, guys. So, yeah, let's take a gander. Let's zoom in on the first one. We got the first sell side signal. The week that closed 28th of December 2015. And we do put in a week of correction, followed by pretty decent sell side correction. So let's see what the correction was. From peak to trough, below right here. 16% was the correction in 2015. Not a good time to sell. And I mean, in long term, let's be real. When we're looking at weekly sell signals, often those are the sell signals or the buy signals that will by hook or by crook or for good or for ill get people into positions that they thought they would hold a few months, but that they end up probably in for a year or two. 2018 hodlers, I'm talking to you. All right, and then we have our second one here in June of 2016. And again, pretty much as soon as that signal fires on the weekly time frame, because of the market that we're in, we get a 3-day correction, and then the price does correct about 10%. Yeah, not a good time to sell. And again, sell side signal here. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, wow, man, that ISA spot is really terrible. And certainly, I could change the settings and try to find something more optimal on the weekly, but I'm not going to because the RSI was the same. The MACD was the same, stochastic the same. Go pull up almost any momentum oscillator, and you're going to be hard pressed to find one, a momentum threshold oscillator. Now, there are some out there that did better than others, but they also, for example, it doesn't really matter where they got you in because this trend went to the upside so long. But as with all things, it does matter where they got you out. Now, I do not know why. I don't know why this is printing a, there is not a red triangle there. You guys can see the crossover in overbought territory. Again, they're all pretty much, if they're sensitive, they're going to signal for this exit. If they're insensitive, they're going to be signaling most likely down here, for example. Like, I would hate to think, where does True Strength Index tell you to sell this? Because TSI is good on the daily, but okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, time transformation is no different here. So, an IFT-RSI, a very insensitive one. Yeah, this has you basically selling close, certainly not to the bottom, but nobody would have been happy to short here, for example. Maybe here, yeah. Where is it? Here. IFT-RSI, right here. Yeah, nobody would have been happy to short here, I think, and hold that for several months. Challenged Investor says, it is easier for me to buy and hold than trade and take a loss. That is true, yeah. And that is true. Listen, it depends on a lot of things go into how successful or how challenging trading will be for you. And they all have to do with who you are as a person, right? Because for the same reason that emotional discipline and trade psychology are the most important concepts in trading. Because whoever you are as a person is who you're bringing to the table. And you gotta deal with that. K Smooth says, start scaling in. Now is a good opportunity for at least quick flips. I think it's an opportunity for more than that, but I do agree. All right. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance so we can see where we think altcoins are going to go here. On the daily time frame, we are just grinding out the lows here on Bitcoin dominance. We are having a green day, which means which means Bitcoin is getting more attention than alts, and theoretically, we're going to be seeing liquidity and money flowing out of altcoins and corrections along with Bitcoin. I would think with the exception of those coins currently enthralled in their exit scams. But my general consensus, my general bias is that when Bitcoin dominance, when any asset, when any chart is grinding its lows on low volume, low volatility, typically we proceed in that direction. Market bottoms tend to occur, not always, but tend to occur on high volume and high volatility. Now, having said that, let's take a look at the big picture here, for example. All right, here we are on the daily time frame. Let's see what Mr. DeMark has to say about this. All right, interesting. So we do have, it is, as much as I don't like it, looking where that low is, that is a perfect 9 on the daily time frame. Reversal signal for Bitcoin dominance. I believe we've done that, right? We have pushed off the bottom. We've consolidated sideways for about a week, consistent resistance, fairly inconsistent support. And again, it's not like this is an actual liquidity chart, right? So when I say support and resistance, we're just looking broadly at the trends here, but Bitcoin dominance is based on something. And it could be based on, we're going to be talking about this here in just a second. It could be based on, I don't know, roll of the dice. Just somebody putting a number generator code in because obviously the cryptocurrency, I don't know who was. I don't know what serious trader was rocked. But obviously several, last year, 2019, Weiss reports revealed that, a large majority, over 80% of trading volume is wash. Wash volume is where There is not actually, for those of you who don't know, wash trading is where you do not actually have interested market participants transacting with good intentions in the free and open market. You have the exchange trading against itself. You just have useless transacting going back and forth. The reason why this would be done is to increase the market capitalization statistics or to increase the volume statistics of an exchange, of an asset, of a pair, to fool algorithms, to incentivize algorithms, many, many, many different reasons. But largely, if I may say, to put a spotlight on whatever you want to put a spotlight on. So, for example, if I want my neighbors to pay attention to my front yard, I will turn my front light on at night, and they will pay attention to my yard. If I do not want them to, I will not turn that light on. So, whatever you, I will say, this is true with marketing. Certainly, you guys understand this. Whatever is generating a lot of attempts to pull eyeballs, it's doing that for a reason. And there really isn't anything that happens in life that doesn't occur for a reason. So, cui bono. All right, so David Rice, you do not have to be sorry. Let's see here. Dr. Cheese Weasel says, hodler for life, man. Believe in the long term of the project, especially Ethereum. Me as well, my friend. I have made a commitment to not sell my Bitcoin. Welcome to the club, man. Riding it out together. Moonshine Fuel says it's easy for me too, as I have another source of income. That's true as well. Many newer traders kind of want to dive headlong into trading, and I fully support that. It's what I did, but it can be difficult because if you have a few bad months and you see that initial capital that you had saved up and you were so excited to be doing this as a professional, you see that get dwindled away, it can be difficult. Blue Box DMF did even turn negative on the weekly. That is true. GB Wally, thank you so much for the quote, my friend. I'm gonna screen cap that. It's going on my profile on Facebook. Okay. Who else we got on the chart? Sorry, we got a lot to look at. So let's get off Bitcoin dominance. So grinding sideways, in my opinion, this should statistically break to the downside. However, I do want to look at, and you guys might think this is silly, but it's not. Yeah. And we are still in a bottom feeder signal, actually, funny enough, on market cap dominance. So let me look at bottom feeder. Did give the buy side signal here, basically exactly where TD did as well, with confirmation from CM Williams here as well. So, I don't dislike this. So market capitalization, bottom feeder is predicting that this is going to move up to 62.31. So we are going to see increased liquidity into Bitcoin, which is going to happen because right now you have a lot of people attempting to short what I think is the local bottom. And you have a lot of individuals trying to buy the dip. Certainly less. Let's be real. It's only like 20% buying the dip, maybe like 8% buying the dip, 92%. You didn't need to look at the Bitcoin chart to look at the broader altcoin market chart to think, things are largely correcting. Should we buy this dip? Oh, no, that wasn't the dip. The dip keeps dipping. All right, so you buy the next one. All right, so let's go over justifications and reasons of why I decided to add to my Bitcoin long position. Well, first off, there is one thing here. The one thing is risk to reward, okay? So for the Bybit competition, it's kind of impossible for me to take a regular position size, the position size that I should on that account. So it's, I can do the best that I can. So when I returned from Sunday, so obviously I was spending the weekend with my children. I got my initial long position on Bitcoin on it was late Sunday evening. It could have even been Monday morning because I know Alex and I got in very, very late. It was about 11 o'clock when I got to the computer just to check on things. And we looked at the charts till probably about 1 o'clock. So it was in that window, right? Central Standard Time. It was in that window. I took my initial position on Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up to attempt to try 11,900. Didn't quite get that far, which is where I was targeting just a retest of a resistance. And as we pulled down back to my entry, we have gone essentially the same distance to the upside that we went to the downside. on increased volume. Now, I like, as you guys are aware, when in my discretionary system and just overall in watching the charts, when we approach what is considered a level of support or just a pivot point, whatever you'd like to call it, on high volume, right? Seller exhaustion occurs on high volume. It typically doesn't occur on low volume, all right? We are also oversold on ISA spot. We're oversold on most momentum oscillators. I think most individuals are watching the RSI, and that is, I had to guess, just one thing that mildly concerns me. I really like a setup. When I am noticing and pointing out things that nobody else notices. But I have, not on Twitter, not in Cointelegraph, and not in the Discord, actually, but just some other places. We shall not speak of them. I have heard two other people talk about the hidden bullish divergence. So maybe they're just on it today. But let's talk about that. Hidden bullish divergence. All right, so price over here on the 4-hour chart did form a low, and we have now formed a lower low. And if we look at ISA spot over there, we formed a low, and we are currently forming a higher low on a lower low in price action. That's not even hidden. That's regular. I immediately feel better about myself. All right, so good historicity here. There is another indicator that Alex and I developed actually called, well, it's our implementation of the decibel. So I wonder what would happen if I pulled that up. But, ever since streaming, I've learned don't click on things that you haven't clicked on off stream. Just stick to the script. All right, oh, you know what? Why don't you guys tell me that I didn't have that webcam thing? I've been talking this whole time. Hey, okay, it's nothing new. It's all good. Whoop. All right, there we go. Let's see here. Alex correctly pointing out with a weekly Bitcoin dominance reversal signal last week. Jordan Stotts, good. Welcome to the show, my friend. Can wash trading throw off volume indicators on low liquidity coin pairs? Of course they can. Mm-hmm. Because all an indicator is a mathematical algorithm of some sort. A plus B equals C. Often more complex than that, but that's the general concept. And so they're just based off numbers. And if you are manipulating the input numbers, of course the output's going to be manipulated. Garbage in, garbage out. Only the best got stopped out twice. 10,500 looks good. It does look good. It does look good as a good pivot. I would like to see, it's just going to be interesting to see how price plays out here. The risk to reward is certainly an important factor in my trade as well. Looking at the funds that I deposited for the WSOT, when you look at, as I said, it's kind of difficult to take a regular position size on that, with that deposit, right? And you can't deposit more funds or you mess up the P&L calculation. So in a situation where if for that account, there's really no, what's the word I'm looking for? At the opportune moment, we're oversold. We're getting CM Williams. Funding is positive, which I think is quite unique. The fact that funding is positive and has been positive on this entire dip to the downside. I think that the traditional way I think that most people would think about this is that individuals are buying the dip too much. Individuals are just buying the dip too much. And therefore, longs need to get punished. And sometimes that narrative is true. But as with all things, if you only know one trick, if you only know how to say one thing one way, you're not going to be as dynamic as you need to be because it's not always that way. The market is dynamic and unique. And again, sometimes support is support and sometimes it's not. And you need to be able to adapt to that, particularly if you're going to be trading with discretion. Beckham says, noticing a tone. Yeah, I got you, man. Philly, cool t-shirt. Thank you so much. Very good friend of mine. Mr. Scott gave this to me back in the day. All right. Oh, sir, we're not allowed to talk about Funfair. We're not allowed to talk about Funfair in the chart. They're not even announcing partnerships. All right, so overall, I have purchased the dip on BTC. For the account that I've made for the WSOT, if price slips significantly lower, actually, I don't have to worry until about 10,900, but that deposit would be gone, which would be, overall kind of a good thing for me because I could go back to trading the regular position size that I'd like on that asset. Oh yeah, and while we're here, let's look at the Bitcoin power law corridor. This will be fun. and hide drawings. Okay. And I refuse to believe that we are going to have a second failed attempt at the center here. If not, yay, the top of the Bitcoin power law corridor. And I do believe this. And I said this on Sunday with a pre-recorded video and many, many times. This is just I don't believe this indicator is gospel by any means, but certainly it is interesting. And you can do the math for yourself. Resistance is 500% above us. Okay, that's a 5x. We're 37% to what would be considered significant resistance. And we are 36% above what is considered support. So there is, for those who have been holding Bitcoin for a long time, 36% to support. It's not that far down. It's not that far down. You have certainly held through worse. You know, I will say this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video that I put out yesterday. I wish that I would have had a little bit more time, a little bit more input. There were certainly a lot more that I would like to go into. But it's been a while since we've done pre-recorded. And I kind of wanted to do it I wanted to do it on Sunday evening, but I got in so late I didn't have time to shoot it. And then I got it done. I will be making another video on, I think, the topic that you guys want to see. And funny enough, what Luke Jones just commented on there. Yes. So kind of the DeFi coins or the altcoins that I think are going to pump 2020. What's my red hot altcoin portfolio, which I certainly do have those. However, and we'll find out if I'm right or wrong about this, timing is important, right? So there's something particularly malicious, in my opinion, about knowingly giving, not bad advice, but you just know stupid advice, right? At the wrong time, okay? And you guys, a lot of you guys have been with us for a long time. We don't do advertising on the show. We don't, we don't shill stuff. Like, we just tell it how it is. But half of the time, you come on here and I tell you stuff you don't want to hear. James Jameson, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube, my friend. Welcome to the community. Because the reality is this: most individuals do not enjoy the concept of putting in the work. Most individuals want to be spoon-fed the answers. And because there are quite a few of you, this channel is pretty unique. It attracts a good niche. This is why we have such steady, consistent people and a good community. We don't have a lot of problems. When you decide that you want to do this in a serious manner, then it by necessity means that you have to kind of give up a lot of the ways that most individuals trade, most retail traders trade, which is, searching for answers, not searching for advice, but searching for answers, searching for exactly what to do at any given moment. And that is not something that people who are searching for something to do, someone to tell them what to do, like. And it's a difficult path, guys. It's a difficult path, but that's why you guys come here. Hopefully, you guys see me do it, by the way. And yeah, I don't know. I'm proud of all of you guys. I've watched over particularly the last year as we've grown. I've watched, I don't want to say so many because I don't want to exaggerate, but I've seen a good amount, like enough that it matters. Traders that I've mentored build systems, go on to trade Forex, trade cryptocurrency, make great gains in this current market. I've seen them, particularly there is one funded desk right now that I won't mention it because I don't want to gravitate anybody towards it, but I am considering, let's say, officially saying, yes, this is a good desk, which it is. I'm just not sure how I feel about that morally. But I've seen traders become funded. I've taught them how to do that. And it's just been an awesome journey. It's been an awesome progress. So if you guys are out there grinding it out and you're putting in the work, huge shout out to you guys. Huge shout out to you guys. And also, that correlates to what I want to talk about with Bitcoin. Yes, all this DeFi stuff is exciting. If you guys go watch the video from yesterday when I talk about FlexCoin, right? Like, that is objectively a coin that I hold. And it's a terrible project. Like, I'm aware that it's a terrible project. It really is. Like, FlexCoin is horrible. If you look under the hood, if you just look at the setup, you look at everything, right? You look at the money, the players, the code, the app, the setup, just the concept, the idea. It's stupid, man. It's stupid. But I bought it for the fundamentals, and it's done pretty well. but I'm aware that I need to sell it. I'm aware of the shifting sands. Most people out here hopping into Uniswap right now today for their first time have no idea that most of these projects are not gonna cross the finish line. Personal opinion, just saying. Moving right on. But Bitcoin will. Bitcoin will. Sorry, that's the end point there. Bitcoin will. So if there was anything I had to hold, it's certainly not going to be something. Certainly not going to be something new. It's going to be something that actually has made me, certainly holding Bitcoin for the last 4 years now, has done very well for me. And everybody who I've advised to do it, who I've seen do it, Bitcoin is going to be a higher price, certainly in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Yeah, because it works and it's good. All right, now, you guys want to talk about DeFi. You guys want me to come on here and show some DeFi? Okay, we'll go over the latest DeFi updates. All right, let's go. I got stuff. I got things to talk about. Let's back out. Before we talk about DeFi, let's consider, I don't want to edit my chart. Let's consider what we think about Ethereum. Ethereum topped out. What do you guys think? The answer is, The answer is I got to look at the chart. Okay. All right, Ethereum here on the daily. Let's go ahead and pull open ETP system here. Ethereum here on the daily is actually still in a bullish trend for my system. 350, 320 is actually where the baseline is, meaning we're in a territory, we're in a zone where we can look for not a reversal baseline bounce. I mean, we can. That's about $20 correction, a $20 correction. We can set some limit orders, and that is certainly an advisable strategy. Make sure to set your stop loss pursuant to where you'd enter with whatever metric you're using for your stop loss. If it's Quadriga, 1.5, 2.5, whatever you're utilizing. But around 350, 320. There is also another method where we utilize ATR for multiple entries. Kind of the way to do that, and I don't necessarily recommend it on the daily. I have done it. It's more an hourly strategy, is you just invert Quadriga ATR. It's not really the way I used to teach it. I used to do it manually, if you guys go back and watch old videos. But if you just click, let's say here you'd be measuring for a long. We'll measure for a short. And instead of, considering that you're shorting and selling at those prices, no, that's where you're scaling in, 20, 30, 50. All right, anyways, 20, 30, 50 on the way down. That's the way it goes. It's the easiest way. You make more money in the long run doing that statistically. It doesn't matter where you measure it. It doesn't matter how you do the math. You make more money over the long run doing it that way. If you scale in, getting bigger as you go down, and you scale out, getting smaller as you go up, right? Nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to sell, 80% of their bag at their last take profit, but it's just not going to happen. And there's going to be certain times in the market when things are really, really bullish, like right now, where you think to yourself, man, I should be more aggressive. And maybe you can. Maybe you can determine what the trigger is that makes you become more aggressive. But if you don't have an objective answer for that, then you're just trading with your gut, and generally your gut's wrong. So I would not recommend doing that. Anyways, I think Ethereum is not looking too bad here. IFT RSI is about to get oversold. We are largely neutral on our OBV OSC. There's the OBV that I looked at in the QQE mod system. QQE mod itself has actually turned negative. So is the confirmer. So still, the setup here would be with this system, which is an insensitive baseline, which for some of you guys is new and you don't have a system like that. Many of you have a sensitive baseline, and that's fine. It's fine. This is for those with a insensitive baseline. 350, 320, I think an entry there would be okay. So reversal within the trend would be the setup, or reversal baseline bounce. If we're looking for a reversal within the trend, we'd of course be looking for something like bottom feeder or Minx or time transformation. I do not see a signal here from ISISbot. Let's take a look and see what Minx says about this. And let's also take a look and see what time transformation says about this. If you guys want to check out these indicators, it's tv.crackingcryptocurrency.com. All right. Yeah. Time transformation has not bottomed out yet. A little bit of coiling. And yeah, Minx with the default settings here, again, not yet oversold. Okay. So I do not think that the reversal within the trend setup is here on today's daily candle. The only thing that I would say, the only discretion I would give this, I would certainly love to see a bottom feeder signal. The last one we got was great. This one was great. This one was absolutely fantastic. But we're not getting it yet. We're not getting it yet. So we are not yet ready to fish on Ethereum. We are approaching support. Big sell side candle. It's either, again, the opportunity is there for the bounce, but for Ethereum, I'm certainly not going to take this. And I do think that this bodes very poorly for everybody's portfolio that holds any sort of amount of DeFi right now, because that is a bearish engulfing candle. The second bearish engulfing candle after a week of stair-stepping to the downside. We could say the same thing about Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is wont to hold its sidewaysness for a long time. And listen, when Bitcoin dumps, we're talking like 5% candles, maybe 8% candles, God forbid a 12% candle. Ethereum, I mean, we're talking about this right here is a 9% candle. These can get quite larger. And as you go down in liquidity, they're going to get larger and larger. So yes, you could argue, well, Bitcoin's going to lose money too. Yes, but I'm going to lose money much slower. Yeah. Ethereum is looking rougher here. I would not, well, I mean, you're either looking for the breakout here or you're looking for the bounce. We'll wait till the day closes, but I know that if Ethereum doesn't bounce, Bitcoin is almost certainly not going to bounce as well. Just pointing it out. All right. Now, so I do think that Ethereum USD is certainly looking more bearish than bullish here. But not time to yet short it. 350, 320. That's the place to short it. If you guys want to get more nuanced, let's go down to the lower time frames and let's go ahead and pull out the system. All right. Let's see here. You know, I am one to say it, but on the 4-hour time frame, we are getting the exact same regular divergence that Bitcoin put in. I like Bitcoin obviously better on the daily, a little bit stronger. But yes, large sell candle, high volume into what is considered an area of support. As I said, I don't think the area to short. And Ethereum, if we're looking for confirmation, Ethereum might give it to us before Bitcoin. So I'm still holding Ethereum. I guess I have to, based on the way that things are. However, I'll let you guys know my plan. Here's my plan. I think, well, not I think. I told everybody the other day. I have decided I'm going to do something interesting with my Ethereum this time. I have a decent amount of Ethereum, and I've sold Ethereum. I've bought and sold Ethereum for fiat multiple times. But I think, there I go saying I think again. What I want to do is instead of selling it into fiat or converting it into a stable coin, I would like to stay in the ecosystem, right? I would like to stay in the ecosystem. It would not behoove me probably to do it with all of it. But again, I've got about 3 months of experience doing extremely lo-fi projects, not just buying and selling tokens, but again, providing liquidity, collateralizing debt, taking loans. And it's going to be interesting, primarily with DAO. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting journey. I'll make a video about it because you guys are going to click off if I talk about this chart for one more minute. All right, so let's show some altcoins. That's what you guys want to see. All right. So in DeFi, the total value locked increased from at the beginning of the week, let's look at last week. The total value locked went from just a little bit under 6 billion to where we are right now, a little bit under 7 billion, again correcting a little bit more. Big story last week was, of course, more Bitcoin being wrapped than mined. We talked about that last week. And I would say this is something that Jack had pointed out to me earlier today, is that Lend, Aave, got the, I don't know why certainly individuals knew about it. This is maybe one of the reasons why Aave is pumped. But Lend is a licensed, authorized electronic money institution, right? This was granted an F in July by the FCA. That's the Financial Conduct Authority over there in UK. And I got the link for that here. I will post these in the description. I didn't have time to put them there this morning. Here we go. Block crypto, which makes a whole lot of sense. There we go. Now, if only they could do that with INDX. There's Lend USDT. And so let's break down whether I think it's time to sell this one. Again, thank you, Jordan Stotts. I appreciate it, my friend. If it can be shilled, it will be shilled, yes. Let's see. Andrew says the bottom feeder is printing on the current 4-hour FUSD. I've never traded that system on LTF though. Yeah, so the thing to do certainly there is pull up the strategy tester, see how it performs, and see how you can modify it. I do find there's not a 4-hour. We don't run a meso time frame bottom feeder bot. The one that's currently run is run on the macro time frames. But it's good. It's good. It's going to, as with anything, the lower you descend in lower time frames, the more sensitive you make your system, the more signals you'll get, and often the lower your hit rate will become. Yeah. Waynard says, shill it, baby. All right. So lend Aave. What do we think? All right. So Doji that has led to the stair stepping down. All right. Well, this is going to be tricky. If we look at any USDT pair, it's going to be red. So let's lay out the fundamentals first. Bitcoin. I have added to my long on Bitcoin, and what would make me just more than happy is taking the risk reward on the pull-up here. If it doesn't happen, then we're likely going to correct to 10,600. I don't think that weekly correction is going to play out, and I don't think that movement down to 10,600 is necessary. Altcoins, I don't want to be the guy that says it. I'll tell you what needs to happen. If you guys want to know what's going to happen to Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets necessarily, it really depends on gold. So before we look at lend Aave, okay, let's go look at gold. Zao USD. Talked about this yesterday. This is gold spot. And I said yesterday, I've been saying actually for almost a week and a half now, that if gold forms a lower high, that concerns me. Because we have formed a lower high on gold, and this is a shift in market structure, okay? Now look at what gold is doing and consider what Bitcoin is doing roughly on lower volatility and certainly like way lower ranging, right? We go over here and compare Bitcoin. We can see the Bitcoin has topped out, but it took a long time for Bitcoin to sell off. Almost like Bitcoin got to the end of the race, turned around and was like, come on, gold, are you going to make it or not? Gold hit the top and just decided to sell off. Now, this is important as I speculated on. My thoughts on this are as such. Individuals who are hedged in gold, for some reason, or a large institution, has this, and this is not even taking into account what's going on at the COMEX, challenged investor, I know you hear me, because that's just an entirely separate thing. If a lot of individuals, if a significant amount of the market or a significant amount of liquidity has exited their gold hedge short, then it implies that investors would like to be holding cash. It implies that investors would like to be holding cash. Those individuals are holding cash because they want to take advantage of dips. What happens when smart money is holding cash? Typically, the market pulls down to meet them because they're patient and they wait. And there are, as I said, there are a few fundamental opportunities coming up that really can affect the market the way we saw back in March. I can certainly see it, and I don't want to, this video is already certainly going to be demonetized, but if there is, as I'm seeing all the newspapers report, as I'm seeing individuals start to talk about it again, you can, if you pay attention to the pattern in which news comes out, you can kind of think about what's going to happen next. But if we get a second wave of mandatory lockdowns, either due to a resurgence of the coronavirus or, again, whether justified or not, but that is something that needs to be on individuals' minds. So we have formed the lower high on gold. Really, there's only two options here. As usual, we're either going to break this low or we're going to put in some sort of double bottom behavior. If we grind this area out, I'm going to become more conservative, guys. And that's exactly what I said I was going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And that's probably why the only thing that I'm looking to buy the dip on necessarily today, right, is Bitcoin. Not just Bitcoin. Look at our trade setups. Let's go. All right. So we're looking at Aave. Let's look at the technicals. That makes things very simple. Where is it? There it is. Lend. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. Yeah, ISIS gave the sell side signal over here. Just looking at this reversal system, we kind of have crossed back up, but not a very fantastic signal here. I don't necessarily like that pullback. Let's look at the actual traded market. Lend BTC. Bitcoin dominance moving to the upside. Yeah, even if I'm not going to speculate on whether the trend is over, but no, just stonks only go up. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Like Damien and Challenged Investor, Challenge Investor says wait until December for a gold big run. Gold is fundamentally valuable for the same reason that Bitcoin is as well. I do think that they're both positioned to appreciate in the face of a currency crisis or in the event of pretty much everything else going down. But certainly the upcoming, if there is just a weekly cool off, which will look like a pretty significant correction for most individuals, 30% wasn't enough for some of them. Yeah, and Damian Hughes just wanting to just tighten up, right? It's never a bad thing to be the one person in the room who is conservative when everybody is greedy. Because as we get into fervor, as we get into euphoria, people's discipline and people's just discipline generally start to slip, and they find themselves stuck in positions they don't want to be in. And this is what presages and leads to mistakes that many individuals experienced throughout 2018. They made the wrong moves at the top of the 2018 market, and those moves cost them for 2 years, if not more. So you can always miss a part of a trend, guys. It's totally fine. Take a step back, evaluate, wait, especially when you see everybody else acting different. All right, so Lend, what's the other news I have here? Yeah, okay. Lend certainly helped along by SUSD. It is the highest yielding stablecoin on Curve. So for those of you who are on Curve, and I'm not a yield farming guy, but here is the link to that as well. Boom, pull that up. Aw. Here we go. Yeah. Is this the right one? This is SNX highest rate. Yeah. Yep. Raise exchange fee to 50 basis points for 2 weeks. Yep. So on synthetics, SUSD yields the highest return yeah. Synthetics also announced that they were going to be launching synthetic futures. Aragon announced that they are going to be launching a DAO. So that's, I don't know, pretty exciting. Didn't work out the last time so well for Ethereum. But the next phases of the Aragon Network DAO are here, Phoenix and Firebird. During Phoenix, executive power over Aragon Court will be passed to Ant holders. Learn how to help with this transition and what to expect in the coming phases. Again, I'll link all these in the description below. And of course, on Balancer, they have liquidity rewards now for ANT. Let's see here. BZRX. Yeah. So the BZX protocol staking is going live at the end of the month. And I am starting to see interest in that, for example. And that, I think, that is a good opportunity for individuals. I think everybody is kind of looking at the charts right now, looking for long swings. It's not a bad opportunity to begin thinking about what amount of your crypto you do want to remain in the ecosystem, right? For example, if you're going to buy and hold, you can put that crypto to work. And I think it's a good opportunity to research and find out what you want to do insofar as staking, what you want to do insofar as mining, what you want to do insofar as running masternodes, because there are really good opportunities out there, or at least unique opportunities. And unfortunately, people often don't find those opportunities until, let's say, the market has moved down. And then everybody seems to find that at the same time. And so everybody is chasing yield. And when people are chasing yield simultaneously, when too many people are, it lowers actual return. So a good opportunity if you are going to pause and chill, collect your thoughts and relax, to look for that. Correct me or not if I'm wrong, but Smiles J says, Trust Swap is on the dip since I last looked at it. Trust Swap is, let's see here, pull up the ChartX Pro. I don't have too many other coins that I want to look at. You guys, if you guys have requests, just let me know. Here it is right here. Swap. That's a pretty good dip. Convert to some Ethereum, get into a dividend smart contract. Yeah, I think one of the best things that a lot of people can do with their Ethereum is to convert their Ethereum into DAI, lend that out. It's the simplest thing. You guys can do it from from an all-in-one tool. I can't think of the one. I know Alex is on here. He recommended to me an Ethereum tool the other night. That's really convenient. So you could do it all from there, I do believe, or you can use it through the protocol. There's a lot of opportunities. Let's see here. With Swap, what I really want to do and what I really have enjoyed lately is sentiment. So let's take a look at distribution holder strength over here on Swap. See if we can't delete any information. All right, not too much. Okay. Yeah, so lowest accumulation periods going up. Let's see, we have, is that really 0.505? I didn't think there could be 0.631 of a person. Okay. Okay, 1. All right, so we go from 10. And there's all those whales gone. And we're back at 8. All right, so that level's stable. Well, I'll tell you what, whoever has 10 million or more swap, if this chart is correct, there's only one, and they're holding on to it. Yeah, Zerion.com. That is the tool. Thank you, Alex. Let's see here. Red moving down. Yeah, so we do see that the larger holders, yeah, just a third of a person, man. Like the traditional nuclear family, 2.5 kids. So the third largest pool of holders, and let's go see, based on CoinGecko, what's swap circulating supply? All right. We can get deep with this. For example, we can look at how the token distribution was done as well. All right, circulating. I know you're on here somewhere. No? $54 million market cap means it's not an accumulation zone. Here we go. Sorry. Circulating supply, 64 million out of 100 million. Okay. 64 million out of 100 million. All right. So, yeah. So there's only one individual that has 10 million. Or only one address that has more than 10 million coins, which makes sense. So pink, 1 million to 10 million, that has got to be, I mean, those are super whales. There's only 8 of them. So that means we'd have to go look at their balances, but it wouldn't be too difficult to determine. This is actually relatively easy. Trust swap the way that it is. If there are 8 individuals that have 1 million to 10 million coins, there's 100 million coins, and one person has greater than 10 million, that address is going to be easy to find. The 8 addresses that have 1 million to 10 million are going to be easy to find. And then you really kind of have as a bellwether the larger retail, 100,000 to 1 million. And even they're selling here. Everybody below them is buying up, but everybody at the top. I won't say that about the 1 million to 10 million, right? And you can see whether there's one very large address and then just a few with 1 million, or whether they all roughly have, like, let's say 5. That lets you know that about 50% is still locked up. Maybe. Could be worse than that. Let's just assume the high case here, where individuals have greater than 5 million. Let's say all 8 of those people have greater than 5 million, right? Now that's 40 million coins right there. Plus at least 10 million. That's 50 million out of a total supply of 100 million. That's half that is held by whales. It's not a position you want to be in. Again, that's kind of what I said about Flexcoin, because the sell side liquidity is essentially limitless, right? Not mathematically, but for your purposes of trying to get out of your position. Okay. Yeah, BZRX, I did say I did have this on my chart. He says a BZX protocol staking does go live at the end of the month. They have announced flash loans, a future gas token integration to reduce fees, collateral management, permissionless listings, governance. So BZX is one. I don't know. Just got this DeFi news, guys. You know, I am. Listen, I'll tell you guys what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to doing the video about the coins that I did select. They're all DeFi, with the exception of one. And then, kind of furthermore than that, I just pitched the idea, but I really am into it. I would like to talk about the ICOs and my experience with ICOs over the last 4 years. Really, I mean, the last 3 years is where it was serious, but okay, that's what I have here. Yeah, so there was supposed to be a Binance AMA, but it has not happened yet, as far as I'm aware. Now, getting over to... Hey, you guys are welcome. Boris Bitcoin says, what would be an appropriate early exit indication for a bottom feeder signal? I'm struggling a bit determining invalidation points before a trade. Okay, so a bottom feeder signal, you're asking what would be a good early exit or a fail-safe exit for a bottom feeder trade? The best answer is none, right? Bottom feeder, the algorithm itself is designed in a unique way. It is more right than wrong, and that's the hallmark of a good algorithm. It wasn't designed with an early exit system in mind. Now, I have heard especially for those who have used it and like it, because it's one of our more successful systems, you know, as you trade something, you will learn nuances. Jason has a junior analyst Jason, he was explaining to me a pattern the other day by way, if he sees like multiple signals in a certain way, it's generally a lower hit rate or it's generally a bad signal. So one potential option would be to experiment, in my mind, experiment with tightening up or loosening the stop loss potentially. If you're looking for a trigger that would let you know on average, is this going to be a winning or losing trade? If I would have noticed such a universal pattern, I tested for quite a few things when Alex and I developed it. But certainly, let me know if you discover some sort of pattern or algorithm, if it's on a particular market or whether it's in a particular way, and I can improve the indicator for everybody. What I would say is a tighter stop loss, and keep that in mind with your position sizing. For example, instead of doing a 1.5 ATR because you're looking for the trend to continue and you're willing to let it breathe, that's why you have such a wide stop. If you're trying to take a reversal trade, then we could justify a tighter stop. Yeah, a tighter stop could be justified. And you have the ability to backtest it quite easily with a strategy tester. B-Flow says, I'm looking forward to this dump stopping. I am too. B-Flow, or not B-Flow, I'm sorry. Jordan Stotts, did I buy any Veritasium from Reggie's ICO? I never did. I never bought any Veritasium. Blue Box says those 8 addresses may just be the lockup. They won't hold it all within one address, but spread out evenly over multiple addresses. And if there is, that might be the case. I talked about that. You're absolutely right. When you're looking at that sentiment, you do want to do some more in-depth ERC20 analysis. You want to look at the Etherscan. You want to look at the blockchain, because it's possible that those tokens are, as you said, locked up. It's possible that they're staking pools. It's possible that they're exchange deposit wallets. Usually the biggest wallet is going to be the exchange, but in the case of some of these newer DeFi projects, not always, because they're all on decentralized exchanges, and the largest wallet address is the developers. Thoughts on the Build ICO and partnerships, please? Or the Bideo ICO? I don't know anything about that one. Yeah, it's fine. You know, I was about to go toss that in the DuckDuckGo, but that would not be a service to you guys. Yeah. That would not be a service to you guys. I will tell you that of the ones that I've looked at, which they are increasing in the amount of ICOs that I've been asked to look at, there is maybe, I'm not going to lie, there's about 20 that are interesting. And I will talk about that in the ICO video. I don't want to focus on it too much, but I'll talk about it. Yeah. Look at DeFi perp. All right. Let's look at alt perp first. Alt perp following along with the general trend of the market capitalization in Bitcoin here as well. So alts, largely, the larger alts particularly, and we can see this from Crypto Bubbles too. And this makes sense. Yeah, everything correcting with Bitcoin except, see Kusama, Polkadot, reserve rights. All, by the way, by the way. And yes, we did, Alex, we did a good job with the hedge on the alt perp. The all of these projects, reserve rights particularly, was at San Francisco Blockchain Week. So San Francisco Blockchain Week 2019 was, really an opportunity. It was cool because I had never heard about DeFi before that. And then I met an individual in the hallway. He was a developer for a project. We asked him if he'd want to sit down and talk, and he explained DeFi to us. So it was cool and interesting. Yeah, and that would, well, let's look at the volume on those. Crypto bubbles. 24-hour volume. We've got 663 million, 51 million, 108. I want to find what website was it? I wonder if I've got it pulled up here. I don't think I do. It's not CoinGecko. Not CoinGecko. I think it was shoot. There was a really cool website that I found. And where you can customize the headers. So you can see the, I just really thought it was convenient because you could customize the header. It had the entire, it had this, you could customize this. And you could look at liquidity. You could look at pressure. You could look at the depth of the bid and ask wall all right there. So that's pretty helpful. All right, so not watching, but looking at DeFi perp. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, yeah. So even with all of that liquidity, the metric that I was talking about was volume divided by market capitalization. Have you ever seen volume greater than the market capitalization? You're seeing it today on some DeFi projects. It's a sign of something, right? High volume is where breakouts occur or where reversals in the market occur. Profit Bear says, what does it take to make your own ICO? There is a website where you can go generate an ERC20 token in about 5 minutes, and then you just need to talk about it. Okay, so good questions, and we've got a ton of chart requests. So I want to do that. I want to do these chart requests, Tezos particularly, and some of these others. I'm going to take a quick break, and we're going to check in with Jason and see how his Bybit experience is doing. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. Can't catch a break over on BitMEX with all the wicks? Try a better alternative at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com and rest easy for a change.
Too short or not too short? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the liquidations and stop losses of novice traders, or to take arms against this outrage with a 100x long, and in doing so, buy Lambos. To buy, to sell, no more. And by no more, we mean I don't know. Buy Bitcoin. Back to you.
All right, guys, let's get going with today. Sorry about that, by the way. I wanted to put bookmap up with some music, but I got everything ready for the second part of the show. But let's just roll the queue. Let's go to our crypto currently. Let's go, guys. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk today about is the IRS, cryptocurrency, and your taxes, So obviously not a topic that is probably everybody's favorite subject to talk about, but rest assured, if you are converting any sort of cryptocurrency gains on a exchange that knows who you are, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, if you are not selling your cryptocurrency peer-to-peer, then they already know, man. They already know, and you're going to get hit for it. Pay your taxes, guys. Pay your taxes for cryptocurrency. I've been very consistent on this for quite a while. It is not a huge burden. There are tax harvesting methods out there. They are pseudo-sustainable, and it's a gray area right now. But certainly, pay your taxes. You do not want to be on the wrong side of the IRS. Don't really care how ardent of a libertarian you are. Now, this week, the IRS released a draft version of their, let's call it the tax form 1040. And this is going to be for the 2020 tax year. So this is effectively a preview of what's to come on the tax form the next time that you're going to have to file. Okay. Now, many may remember how the IRS began including questions about cryptocurrency holdings back for the 2019 tax year. This is the first year that you had to say something about cryptocurrency on the tax return. And at that time, it was seen as a controversial move for the IRS to ask that. This even saw Americans receiving warnings from the IRS that they had reason to believe that the filer had cryptocurrency holdings that they neglected to report correctly on their tax filings. So it was certainly a scare for a lot of individuals. But this preview that we get this week of the new 1040 tax form, this is, this has a different cryptocurrency question on it. It's not just do you hold cryptocurrency? Have you invested in cryptocurrency? But it says at any time during 2020, did you receive, sell, send, exchange, or otherwise acquire any financial interest in any virtual currency? It very much sounds like, are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? That's really what it sounds like. But however, the real major change sees the question moved from the back of the tax filing form, obscure, something that you don't even barely notice until you're done with your form, on the Schedule 1, and it moves it to the very front of the 1040 form, just front and center, right in your face. It's the first thing they want to know. Meanwhile, we also have news reports that dozens of different digital dollar attempts. Oh, shoot, that was the wrong link. Sorry about that. Almost made it. Yeah, here we go. This is the draft proposal for the 1040. And let's find that. Let's see here. Where did I put this? I had trouble. Yeah, here we go. Here we are. Right here. Yeah, right below where you put in your personal information. All right, so here's the copy of the draft form on the official IRS website, irs.gov. We can indeed find the virtual currency question on the first page, even though it took me a second to find it. Apologies. And it's one of the very first questions asked on the form immediately, right after you fill out your personal information, your name, date of birth, all this stuff. And the IRS has not yet publicly commented about the change, why they wanted to do it, but it does certainly suggest to me that the IRS is focused on getting a better grip on America's, who holds cryptocurrency in America. Most likely, so that they know kind of exactly where to target their marketing for the new digital dollar, just exactly how many stations they got to set up. Now, obviously, not every taxpayer has to file a Schedule 1 with their taxes. So that would be another reason as well. Again, previously, the question, do you hold cryptocurrency, was on the Schedule 1. And unless you're active in the market, for most people, you're not going to be filing a Schedule 1. There's a lot of other reasons you would file one, but most wage earners, W-2 earners, wouldn't file a Schedule 1. They are, this is for additional income. This is other than W-2 income. And you have to make adjustments for that income when you earn additional income that's not W-2 income, be it self-employment income or investment income, capital gains. And if you don't file a Schedule 1, you don't have to answer the virtual currency questions. So that's likely why they moved it to page 1 by adding it to the front page, so that they can see, well, now we're not just interested in whales. We want to know how many retail individuals has cryptocurrency as well. So anybody who files a personal tax return for 2020 is going to have to answer that question. So if you've gotten away so far, the good times are over, guys. And this is honestly why, security and privacy is important. All right. Like very, very important. People ask me all the time, like, what's the best place to buy Bitcoin? And, the easy answer is to go to Coinbase. Like the easy answer is to go to Coinbase. But for those of you who do want to hold something that is really, really hard to confiscate, really hard to take away from you, the non-confiscatability is one of the most attractive aspects of Bitcoin. However, as we know, all of the power of the Bitcoin blockchain and the Bitcoin protocol is subject and weakened by a $5 wrench attack. So, and I would argue that the government, with the monopoly on violence, certainly has a lot of $5 wrenches. Okay. So them knowing exactly where to go, them knowing who has unconfiscatable currency. Imagine what would have happened back in the day when the U.S. government required individuals to turn over their gold to the U.S. government, and by penalty of law. But they didn't know who held gold. It was easy to kind of hide, bury in the backyard. And Bitcoin is digital. But if they know exactly who has Bitcoin, at least those who fill out the form properly, and again, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the IRS. So pay your crypto taxes. If you want to stack Bitcoin privately, then learn how to do peer-to-peer transactions. Learn how to find somebody local to you. You have to go down to your Bitcoin meetups. That's the easiest place to do it. Go to your Bitcoin meetups, find a place where individuals who are interested in cryptocurrency gather. But also keep in mind that as we've progressed through this, individuals have had almost 10 years to accumulate BTC. And BTC is going to be getting scarcer and scarcer and scarcer and scarcer as we move forward in time, just like physical gold gets scarcer. And when things get scarcer, their value goes up. All right. So be warned, if you're worried that, I don't know, just cross your I's and dot your T's, guys. So it's a lot easier to do things the right way or avoid those issues altogether than to, do things incorrectly and then have to kind of scramble to avoid pain. And this is very similar to trading as well, right? Now, one other note here. Let's see. No, I don't want to talk about that, but I do want to talk about this from CoinDesk. That's right here. So I mentioned earlier about $1 billion worth of Ethereum tokens that are vulnerable to what's known as a fake deposit attack, right? So this is not actually, I apologize, at the beginning of the show, I kind of referenced that to the fact that many, many nodes, I think about at least 20% of the Ethereum network, had to roll back to a state from 2017. And it is going to take a long time for those nodes to sync. Raise your hand if you've ever tried to sync an Ethereum node. It takes a long time. Now, over $1 billion worth of tokens on the Ethereum blockchain are missing. I'm just going to read this. A software standard released in 2017, setting them up to be hijacked and drained from trading exchanges, according to new research. Thank you so much, new research. Where did this new research come from? We don't know. Okay, here we go. Sorry, we have it right here. Zhejiang University cyber science associate professor Lei Wu. All right, so the software vulnerability, as I understand it, it's a fake deposit exploit. I think there's a quote from him right here. I'll find it. Don't worry. Yeah, here we go. All right. So the fake deposit exploit, it was found to exist in over 7,700 ERC20 tokens issued. And it only, again, it affects ERC20 tokens. The research, was not from Zhejiang. It's from Peking University, Beijing University of Post and Telecommunications, and also, yes, Zhejiang University, and the University of Queensland. Yeah, rock on, Justin. Read the article better next time. The research does state that by manipulating the code in those ERC token smart contracts, if someone were deploying a malicious exploit and finding this exploit, they could target major exchanges that list these tokens and attack them through their deposit mechanism. So if you guys are obviously aware, if you have an ERC20 token, you just send it to an Ethereum address. But there's something that happens, right? There's something that happens in between going from the wallet that it's in to the wallet that it goes to. It obviously crosses across the Ethereum blockchain. And in the worst case scenario, this fake deposit attack can crash the exchange itself. This cause anybody who's holding that ERC20 token and other cryptocurrencies to lose their funds because the exchange actually goes down. And as far as fixing the problem, it's tricky. It's tricky to implement because smart contracts are permanent on the Ethereum blockchain. They can't be reversed. So the onus falls on the exchanges to fix their internal ERC20 token procedure so that they can avoid and mitigate this exploit that could be played off on them. Yeah. So that is, Alex says, give the DLive viewers some lemons. I'm going to, yeah. Right after I consider kind of the effects of this. So the majority of vulnerable tokens that were listed on the list of 7,700 ERC20 tokens are listed on one centralized exchange or another. So if users want to protect their ERC balances, the only thing that they can really do is withdraw the affected tokens from their centralized exchange into a private or cold storage wallet. They should be doing that anyways, but you should absolutely do that in order to be safe. For example, if you guys are using MetaMask this is a good opportunity to mention it. So I've spent a lot of time over the last week researching some common issues with MetaMask. And if you guys are using MetaMask to access anything on the Ethereum chain, first off, just understand gas and gas limit, jack those up. But what you want to do is if you run into a very common problem, which I found tons of threads and no solid answer, and then I found the answer thread. And so I'm disseminating that information. If your MetaMask just will not finish transactions, right? Whether you're using it with Ledger integration or any other cold storage wallet integration, hardware wallet integration, you just are not getting your transactions going through. Flick over from the main Ethereum network to the test network, either of them, and then go back to the main Ethereum network and your transactions will work. So that picks it up. It fixes it in 5 seconds. If you guys are having issues with the mobile wallet, maybe we'll talk about those fixes tomorrow. All right, so I want to pull up. I want the list of the 7,700 tokens that are affected. Let's go look at the original. Here we go. The abstract. It's not too long. Yep, Dex owner. Okay. Wonder if they've got the list here. Okay. All right, I'm going to find it for you guys. I'm going to find it for you guys, or I'm going to pay somebody to put it together for me. Because so they apply depot safe. Yep. Okay. Because the algorithm to detect it is easy. So, all right, now let's give our DLive viewers some lemons. That is a good idea, Alex. And then that's about all I got, unless you guys got questions. DLive. Let's see here. Do it big. Let's do El Capitan. Thank you so much for following over there on DLive. And custom. All right. How many people we got watching on DLive? 5 people. All right, cool. Let's do it. Rewards. You are welcome, smart contract, for the tip. All right. Now, back up to these questions. Strength and profit to you as well, Scrooge McDuck. All right, here's all the requests. Smiles J said swap. Yep, we already looked at that. Discipline morphs into greed nearly every time. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Squeaky Tadpole and Rhino TD, the only two over there on DLive getting the lion's share of everything. All right, so XFT. Let's see here. XFT JMIA. We'll look at that first. You did ask first. That's right, AJ. FET, rep on ADA, which I really like ADA. Kusama. Okay. That'll be simple. OXT. All right. And I think that's it. Yep. Did not buy Veritasium. And then Tezos. Tezos is good to look at. I don't know who that was. And GBU Professor Wally coming in with a $14.99. Thank you so much, my friend. How about a little Neo USD action? Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Thank you so much for the tip, Wally. You are the man. Shout out to you and Gunbot University. And yes, let's look at your favorite coin. It's certainly been a good trade of ours over the last few weeks. So now, let's do this, guys. We are going to do JMIA first because he has been waiting patiently and I feel bad. Okay, then we'll do Neo and then we'll run through these sequentially, super fast. All right, on the daily time frame, we are looking at the, let's see here, thinking about the AG. Okay. Hold on a second. I do want to think about the implications of that. Okay, it should be fine. All right, market's opening up, and we'll deep into the opening up now. 1057 is the price that we're currently trading at. Okay. When I look at stock or ETF, I do like to see structure, right? So there's certain ways that you'll trade something like PPSC, for example, and then the way that you would trade something like the SPX, right? Yeah. So there's a difference between how you trade PPSC that gaps all the time and has low volatility, and like the SPX 500 or something that's a little bit more liquid or moves more fluidly. So let's pull up the P system here. Let's pull up the QQE system. QQE system actually signaled for a trending short on this. The super trend did actually take quite a long time to get this, around $12. Around $12 that we flipped to the downside. Yeah, the only thing that I do not like about this particular position, and I notice it's certainly more with longs than with shorts, right? The IFT RSI is oversold right here. And that's not a good time where I like to enter long. Personally, and especially with ETFs, I do trade with more discretion. For example, I took agriculturals pretty long, and I signaled those for the group as well. So we'll flip over to those in just a second. But again, looking at the devastation that the Derico wreaked in my own state, I see, I can see why. Agriculturals are going to get bid up. They are going to be extremely valuable. Yes, it's good fundamentals, guys. Being that, so when I'm looking at something like this, where we are getting a trending signal to the downside in stocks, ETFs, but I'm looking at IFT RSI and I do see that we're oversold. I want to confirm that. So I go over to ISASpot. I do not have a buy signal. And, that CM Williams is there for confirmation on the buy signal. So this is... Well, yeah, you already know the answer. I already know exactly what I'd do if I was looking at this chart. I wouldn't trade it. Super trend is telling me that the way to trade is to the short side. I do feel like we're going to get a correction here to the upside. That's why I don't want to say I'd short it here, because I wouldn't be trading this because I thought about it for a second. So I'm just looking at the current daily trend and what I would do with my system. I would stay out of this. If I was going to, which I would have known because I would have known 5 seconds into looking at the chart what I'm going to do, I would wait for a correction and then sell into that. Resistance or trend flipping at 1544. And if one was to initiate a signal here, which we go. 866, 681, and 495 for TPs and 1330 for invalidation. So you basically have to break above and make a new daily close to the upside. Yeah, I don't like the short from right here, though. I really don't. If we were to grind out, now if we had put in about 4 or 5 more candles here, maybe just 2 or 3, on JMIA, then I would feel more comfortable with a short. The reason why is because, again, philosophy, if something grinds out support, it often continues to move down through. Now, he asked me to zoom out, so let's do that. Let's actually go to something different here. Yeah, man. So you have a couple plays here. This is the weekly time frame, and we might be putting in a weekly doji, right? So it's possible. Again, this maybe not a reason why I want to take the short here, but there is not a whole lot of structure here. Again, there is support, there is some resistance roughly in this area. Yeah, I want to see that weekly doji hold and kick up from there. All right. So if we're talking about price action, certainly with just candlestick patterns, you would want to see price hold at support and then something invalidating. Usually on the daily, I like to look for higher highs and higher lows. That's a good indication of market structure to the upside. Until then, yeah, I just don't want to trade this. Yeah, anytime I see a chart and I don't know exactly what to do, I don't like that, right? Unless I have researched it and I just understand it and feel confident in it, which there's only like 5 of those things. There's only 5 things in my life. There's a few more than that, but roughly 5 that I've researched and investigated and realized I don't really care what price this thing is. I'm going to buy it. It's always a good buy. All I have to do is wait. Bitcoin is one of those things. Gold is one of those things. Silver is one of those things. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I wish I had a little bit more for you, but I just don't have a good answer on this. The chart is not that clear to me. Certainly the trending system says the short is the way to go. I wouldn't initiate a trade right here, though. If one was going to trade to the short side, I would wait for a correction up to around 13 and then look for a reversal within the trend there on the daily or on the 4 hour particularly. But I can't really say that. Private. All right. Thank you, Private. Welcome to the community. Thank you so much for joining us over there. All right. NEO USD. All right. NEO USD has been an overperformer. We held NEO BTC to the long side. So let's go look at that. I can't see my subs. Thanks, guys. Same thing right there. Okay. Oh, ice cream. I don't care what price it is. I'm going to buy it. No, I'll take it at any price, but I wouldn't buy ice cream at any price. Certainly ice cream could be overbought, man. Okay. Yep. NEO BTC, overperformer. When most things began correcting, NEO BTC still had legs left in it, which I liked. A lot of good decisions made by myself, by Jason, by Alex to balance, to hedge, right? It's been a very cool month. It's been a very interesting month, guys. Very informative. All right, NEO USD. We do not have an exit signal on NEO USD yet. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is I do see that OBV oscillation LB is dipping into the negative territory here. Now, again, that's not a signal to close a trade. If our confirmer or our initiator were to dip below 0, that would be a reason to close a trade. I don't really see any opportunity loss in holding NEO right here. Because it's in the same position that Bitcoin's in, that Ethereum's in. We've had a good size correction down from resistance. And if Bitcoin bounces from support here or continues to move sideways, again, this could be the correction. We continue on. But I don't, it's a lot simpler just to look at that. We have no objective exit signal. NEO USD has certainly been a very profitable run. This system, for example, identifying NEO USD as a potential entry on the 22nd of July. But Wally, I know the kind of neo trader you are. So let's look long term. Let's look long term. And actually, I have that chart over here, I believe. But it's Neo Bitcoin. It's not weekly alts and Neo BTC. There we go. Yeah, this makes my life a little easier. Yeah, Neo BTC. So it's value relative to BTC, and that is the asset that is tradable. That's looking kind of rough. So for the value investor, obviously, they are viewing this area as accumulation. This is the lows that was put in, and we do have a sign of strength, right? We do have a sign of strength on a macro time frame here. Neo has corrected, valued against BTC for the longest time, all the way down to the end of 2019. And what do we see? We see a bottoming pattern that often works. Not perfect, but certainly good enough. We see an Adam and Eve, right? A V-shaped recovery followed by a U-shaped recovery and indicating a higher low as well. So we have formed a higher low on the weekly time frame here with NEO. We have actually just traded above that previous high as well. The only thing that we can't do is get above 0.00176 is the area of resistance that I have marked off. So that would put us back into basically appreciation range. So weekly close above 176 would be good. Again, pullback here is likely. This is that's range trading. We're likely overbought on the daily, or we're in the overbought territory where price began pulling back here on NEO BTC. Now, I like NEO. I hold NEO. I don't invest in NEO. It's a positional trade for me. But again, NEO is going to correct here with, or excuse me, it's already correcting. We can see it rejecting from that level of resistance. So what we need to see is we need to see this bottoming pattern hold. There's no way to know that until it happens. And that would be the opportunity. So holding NEO, yes, because I haven't sold the NEO that I have on my ledger, I haven't sold because NEO is a good project. NEO is a good project if there are good projects out there, and I'm looking for it to break out and above there one day. And we can correlate that to the USD chart. We see the exact same thing here. We see multiple tests of resistance. We don't see the same, we don't see that same nice bottoming pattern that I like to see. Or if we do, it's much rougher over here on the Bitfinex chart. But rejection from resistance. I don't really see the bloodbath here on the USD chart though. So a little bit stronger over here, the USD chart. But again, market correction when this particular asset is at resistance likely indicates that more pullback is likely. The first level of support that we have is down around $12. The only way I really see this, the only way I see this immediately pushing back up is if we're experiencing a market fake out and things aren't going to correct. And we'll know that by the end of the week, most likely. Well, there is a possible scenario where Bitcoin trades sideways and altcoins dump. That does happen, has happened. The worst of times. Okay. Thank you, Wally. A good one. I like looking at NEO. It's been a while since I've had to make a decision on that as well. So also, speaking of which, if one accumulated or picked up NEO at good positions, if you're just looking to take advantage of the range, certainly NEO is there. Good opportunity to scalp some profits off. You can always re-enter when NEO kind of breaks the, it would be about $20. $20 would be a good clean break, but again, a weekly close above 17 even, and I would be pretty excited. If price pulls back after a bullish run, like 1 or 2 weeks, and then pushes for the highs again, more often than not, depending on what the broader market's doing, if the entire market is pushing up, then that's likely a breakout. If it's just a lone wolf and the broader market is bearish, then it's a swing failure pattern, most likely. Says he's been switching to NEO USD instead of the Bitcoin pair due to the same things I'm seeing. Good eyes, my friend. Smile says he's got a great idea for a new video, unless I already have one, but please cover the best free TradingView indicators for novice traders. I would say that would be a great video to make. I will say our Trading Crypto 101 playlist has got some good videos in there. Let me know what indicators, if you guys have specific indicators you want me to cover, I would be glad to help you out. And yeah, I have a list of about 50 indicators I can make videos on. So you guys let me know what you want to see more. Do you guys want to see more videos like yesterday, or do you guys want to see more tutorials on the pre-recorded? Because I'm going to start putting out about one of those a week. Yeah, and the dollar being under pressure, NEO is trading against the dollar here, whereas when NEO is trading against Bitcoin, it does matter what's happening with the quote currency. However, the dollar is not, we'll talk about that. The dollar's in an interesting place. I'm already running long on the show, so I want to get through these requests, but I think tomorrow I'll talk about the broader economy and the dollar a little bit more, so we have some context for what's going on. All right. 0x167 smart contract. This is interesting because I am uniquely qualified to answer this question. It says, can you look into Crypto Faces Market Cipher? He's a YouTuber. So I have never utilized the Market Cipher indicator, but a good friend of mine, he's a moderator of our Discord. He's on, let's say he's on a sabbatical right now. He's out there. He's out there farming yield. He purchased Crypto Faces Market Cipher indicator, and we did a lot of we did a lot of sessions. I mentored him. We spent a lot of time trading and just talking. He's a good friend of mine. I like him. And what I inferred and what I observed was that except for a few things that were added in there, it depends, because certainly the market cipher indicator, from everything that I know, and again, I've only seen him use it through screen share, so I haven't done it myself. But it's like 7 indicators just kind of piled all into one, and there's a few indications that are connected, right? So it's not bad. It's not a bad indicator from what I understand, but I certainly don't think it's worth paying for necessarily, because maybe that's myself, because when we looked at Minx and the market cipher side by side, and then we back tested them side by side, he did it, right? So I don't want to say he did the work. He said the Minx had a higher hit rate, and that's just on the momentum oscillator overbought oversold portion of it, right? There's other things in there, to what I understand, such as the anchor wave, such as the there are different elements that measure different things, and some of them are supposed to measure longer cycles. It's become fairly popular due to marketing, and I am happy. I'm certainly happy if people are utilizing it to good effect. And certainly, I don't know the guy, no disrespect, don't know if he's a good trader, don't know if he's bad. The indicator is useful. It's not a bad indicator, right? I just compared it to Minx for signaling for reversals, anyways, in oversold territory, and reversals at the top in overbought territory. But I think that the basic mechanics can be found in free indicators for the most part. Yeah. So that's my opinion on that. It's fancy, but he uses a free oscillator because he's cheap. Sir, I will remind you as well that all these indicators right here are free. All these indicators right here are free, and this is a fantastic trading system. I almost shouldn't use it on stream, but it's cool. Philly says, I'm a legend. I am nowhere near, my friend. I am nowhere near. But I do's this. All right, next, XFT, just for Alex. Okay. All right. Well. Greed is a son of a bitch. All right, let's see here. I remember this was slightly before the show the other day, but XFT blew off to above $6. So congratulations to anybody who's holding XFT, DeFi coin. Let me get out as far as I can. Go to the daily here. Thank you, man. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. For this, I'm going to look at brief market structure, because there's so little data here. And really, I think I'm going to be better. Served actually going over to CoinGecko, so I can get almost all the data, just in case it traded somewhere else and I'm not aware of that. Chart. And all right, 14 days, yeah. So max. That. Okay. Yep. So accumulation, and we can see that volume underneath 500,000 for most of the days. And by the way, I'll just point out some things in DeFi that I have noticed from looking at these charts for the last few weeks. Sentiment is helpful, but it doesn't really tell you when to buy. You really just have to kind of go to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap and look for the market capitalization that you want, right? Under 10 million, under 5 million, volume certainly less than $1 million a day. Those are pretty classic signs of accumulation. And if it's been moving sideways, the only problem is this: it's perspective. When you only have this much of the market and something is brand new, it's going to look like that on your chart. And that can make you think that, oh, this is the top. You have to pay attention to volume. So certainly not my main strategy, but something that I certainly have noticed if you go back and just watch, okay, when coins list, do they move? Do they do this? And then again, I talked about 2 strategies yesterday. I talked about probably 5 yesterday in yesterday's video of how to identify coins that, at least for me, have done from a 1x to a 3.5x. And those were not even DeFi. Those didn't even have the DeFi label on them. Funding is flipped negative on the 45-minute. Is the dump over? They finally decided to short it. Yes. Mr. Kobayashi, good to see you, my friend. You are one of 3 people who call me crack, though. Welcome. 9,600 USD Oh no, come on, not the CME narrative. XFT is right back down to the previous shelf that it formed. All right, we're at $3. TA is gonna help less though than to just see what money is doing. Let's go to sentiment. XFT. Oh, I can't do it? Let's see here. Yeah, it's not football coin. Shoot. I guess they don't have the data on it. That is such a darn shame. Can anybody... All right, let's go to... Don't need that. Don't need that. Stuck for a second. I gotta think. I can't find the website that I want. All right, let's go to. Five. 93. Yeah, I need to see. Price needs to go sideways for that volume to really mean anything, though. I have an opinion on volume before the pump. I don't have the answer for after. I just want to see the... All right, let's just see if we can go to the Etherscan, yeah. So I want to see... here we go. Let's go see holders. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you so much. Smiles J, Delta Broif, 0x167, Wally. Thank you guys. This is going to be difficult. It's going to take me some time. All right. We'll do it, though. We'll do it. All right. So on August 3rd, yeah, that's basically when this thing launched. Somebody bought 2.25 million and circulating supply of, hopefully I read that wrong. This is a 10 million max supply. And what am I missing something here? Are they telling me that the entire, market capital or circulating supply is changing hands? What could be, yeah, 1.5 million circulating supply. But here is a wallet that has 2. Okay, so yeah, it's the tokens that's locked up. Okay, sorry. 5, 6, 250,000, 154, 88. Let's see what you're doing. Nope, just bought. No selling. No selling from him. This person has bought more. Okay. Yep. Not as much. Like this, he went in and then any extra money he's got, he's just put back into it. That's the second largest whale. Okay. Okay. Same thing. No selling. A little bit there. A little bit of profit taking. A little bit of profit taking. And after these two, we kind of chunked down quite a bit. Not a whole lot of profit taking. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. The certainly of circulating supply, those who are active, do not seem to be distributing. Unless I'm misreading this again. So it would help if I could, again, I don't want to say, I want to give unwise advice. XFT, pretty exciting. Seems that there's a lot of individuals with a vested interest in it. So if the larger pool of liquidity is not moving, if the larger pool of liquidity is not distributing onto the market, then it seems that as long as there's demand, price would go up. And if the market has had a good correction, then XFT, like many of the things that have popped off, XFT will be one that people will look at when they're looking at, what can I buy to give me that 20x gain? So I don't see anything wrong with holding it at the current price. The support and resistance levels, they mean really on a project like that with so little time, they really mean nothing. What really matters is are the largest holders of the token distributing? And this is why you guys want to do your own research, because I just broadly looked at that Etherscan, right, and saw that the largest wallet addresses had received and not sent. It's possible that those are Uniswap addresses, right? I saw the relayer in there, but it's possible that those are involved in grabbing liquidity, right, in pulling liquidity, not actually individuals that have purchased. So we could be looking at the opposite. So you need to go look at the addresses, go look at the broader thing, and again, probably take you about 1 or 2 hours to do, but getting a good comprehensive picture of what your trade is doing is good. All right. Easier things that I can just say, nah, good, bad. Fetch AI. There it is, $RE Electronium. So in regards to Electronium, do I have thoughts? I'll list others. Big tip, I owe you. I've been in the background since early 2017. Well, thank you, Private. Shillin, let's see here. Do I want to say favorable things about Electronium? I do not. I'm sorry. In the early days of Cracking Crypto, we had a member, Ron Hoof. So shout out to you, Ron, if you're watching. Local dude. And he bought a lot of Electronium. He invested in it early days. And it did not do well. Let's go look at the chart. We'll look at the chart for an objective view. Let me finish with Fetch AI. Fetch on the weekly. Again, looks kind of in the same position as most of the alts that we looked at. Again, we can correlate the level of rejection with this previous level of support. So we've got support resistance retest. But pretty much just everything is correcting with the exception of a few DeFis because the market was overheated. So we go to the daily. Yep, we can see the actually, like heavily heated. So multiple sell side signals here and here, but the market was too bullish and we continued. And again, this is why ISISbot is not production ready, because this is a sell signal. You can see overbought conditions and price moving to the downside. And if those peaks would have been shifted one wave over, then it would have been a good example of something that I've noticed usually on the daily with highly trending coins, which is it's not the first overbought zone, it's not the second overbought zone, it's the third. It's often the third, and you will often get divergence all the way down, which is interesting. It's just such a powerful wave. So the thing that you can do with that, for example, I'm not going to show you guys the settings because that'll just show a little bit too much. But what you can do is you can look at your look back length, and then you can triple that. For example, if you're seeing 3 waves, well, it means your indicator is likely 3 times too sensitive because it's picking up on, I don't like saying waves and subwaves because that's Elliott wave stuff, but it's just picking up on, it's not getting the frequency of the market correctly, right? It's harmony, guys. With regards to, I guess, a bigger picture here on the daily. Yeah, big blow off top on Fetch. So this is an exchange coin, so it's gonna get pumped. This was shilled by Binance, CZ himself. One thing I can say is it's possible that we've reclaimed this trading range, but if the market moves down further, I mean, Fetch is going to go with it. But Fetch would certainly, I think, perform better or have the opportunity to push up because, again, there is more vested interest behind Fetch than in many of the other projects. Is there going to be a major sell-off in markets after the election? It will. Listen, a couple things could happen. I'm not quite sure, man. If the coronavirus is as we're already seeing, kind of spreading again, if we get a mandatory lockdown again, and in my state, they just made masks, or they just told the governor to make mask wearing mandatory, right? And our governor, bless her heart, she I forgot about it. For a while, the federal government made masks mandatory in my state, and our governor has not enforced it. What does that tell you about the State of the Union, right? The markets are completely. I want to say a large part of me wants to say the traditional markets are completely in control of the Treasury at this point in time. All right, but who watches the watchers? So either a forced lockdown would initiate a market sell-off. HODL Bitcoin, guys. HODL Bitcoin. Remember to take your profits in Bitcoin. I've seen the smartest people in the room, the people who will be here next year, right? The people who will be here in 2 years. I'll be here in 2 years. I'll be here next year, taking their profit into Bitcoin. And the people who won't will likely not be there. So listen to those people. Listen to the smartest people in the room. I'm not saying me. I'm saying actually give a shout out to Ansel Linder over at Bitcoin and Markets. I've heard him say continuously because he's got to the best of my knowledge, he doesn't trade altcoins, right? So he has to sit here and listen to all of us talk about altcoins for like 4 or 5 months, 3 months really. It always seems like it lasts longer than it does. And then he gets, and then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, altcoins dumped. It's back to Bitcoin all the time. Yes. So that would initiate a sell-off. And gold is what concerns me. You're seeing the lower high on gold. That's indicative that individuals are moving into cash. And I think they're wrong to do so, but that's me. And the second thing that could happen is certainly the elections. But if the Treasury is really in control of the traditional markets, which it certainly seems that they are, then it feels like that is less likely, right? Potentially, if okay, so the common narrative is that if the Democrats win, then the markets would sell off because Biden would be bad for business, and Democrats do not have a financial vest in the financial markets. That's not true. It's just that the Democrats are beholden to a different group of investors and the Republicans are beholden to a different group of investors, right? They do not represent individuals that hold, they do not represent individuals that are, I guess, normal, just regular, everyday folk. Regardless of what we're taught to believe, they're there to represent business interests. So each is beholden to a different business interest, and that's the only thing that really changes. And if I may say, I just take this opportunity in this small platform that I do have that, guys, I firmly believe that it doesn't matter who wins the elections. I have friends who are very, very, very right wing. I have friends that are very, very left wing, and they're both right. They're both right insofar as they get along and go to work with each other and do the things that they're supposed to do and pay their, well, let's not say pay their taxes, but be good to their children, be good to their friends. I'm seeing so many people fight all over social media. As we draw closer to the election, it's going to get worse here in America. Listen, none of your memes mean anything. You're not changing anybody's life. And all of this infighting and bickering is the exact opposite of what you guys should be doing, because the enemy is not the opposing political side. The enemy is the government, right? The only reason this matters is because we have to vote such power into a centralized entity. Take the power away from the centralized entity and give it back to yourself. And the only way we can really do that is if we are united and strong against the government, right? So there are times when society tells government, hey, this is what we'll allow. So you're going to do things like this. And then there's times where the government tells society what they're going to take. And the difference between those two things is how unified the society is. And so this is, I mean, it's so pointless, man. It's so pointless to really believe that this political actor who you have never met, you've never met these people. They do not care about you. They are from a different social strata than you. They were raised differently than you. They will likely never care about you. You're not their friend. After they're out of office, you're not going to hang out with them. People are putting their reputations, their dignity, everything on the line to take somebody's back that they've never met. It's ridiculous. Presidents aren't elected to change things. They are elected to keep things the way they are and just change the flow of money into a different vacuum. So, yeah, things will change. All right, Fetch. I was asked about, ENT, Electroneum. I'm sorry that I went on that rant, my friend. This is Cracking Crypto. I think after Electroneum, I'm going to go. I don't really have, why am I looking on the New York Stock Exchange? I'd like Electroneum, BTC. Thank you. On KuCoin now. Back in the day, you couldn't really get it anywhere. All right, so I haven't looked at this chart in a long time, so let's see what Electroneum has done. All right, parabolic decline, popped back up, giving individuals the opportunity to exit. Then we've fallen back down, accumulated for a long time, sign of strength. And the only positive thing that I could say about Electroneum right now is, actually, I could say a few positive things about Electroneum. You know all that bad stuff I was saying about Electroneum just a minute ago? Scratch that. Let's see if this is the one. Unless this is a cowboy.finance. Those of you who are on 4chan might know what I'm talking about. And all I can say is don't buy it. So now I have to go into more detail because I said it. So I went down a small rabbit hole last night for about an hour and discovered cowboy.finance. So this is a project that they got a Telegram, they've got a Medium. You can quickly read the articles and realize that this is a complete Ponzi scam. But it's being shilled on 4chan. They were trying to shill it on Ivan on Tech. If I had more viewers, they'd probably be in here. They got a Telegram. They've got admins. It's not a real project, right? It is it's a fork. It is specifically designed to take your money. I will say this: that the individuals who are participating in it, who did, who printed the tokens or whatever, they've got a hell of a good attitude about it. But just it's a 4chan meme scam. It is. Just be careful out there. Don't. Be careful, because you just see I'm just sitting there watching people pile into the Telegram asking when moon, not knowing. All right, Electroneum, market capitalization 58 million. Now if that was 5 million, I would be excited. But what is daily volume? Daily volume here is okay. About 50% of circulating supply is out there, so never have to worry about. You don't have to worry about that. 21. Yeah, look at that market. I mean, look at that trading volume relative to market capitalization. Let's go see if it's been like that. Yeah, check my browser, CoinGecko. Because the first thing that we can see here, right, is we have a sign of strength following an accumulation zone on ETN. All right. So, if I may be frank, when I'm looking for I'm not making a judgment on ETN. This could be whoever recommended that. No disrespect to you. Maybe you've watched since 2017, but I haven't seen you before. I hope you were in the background. It's also possible. It's also possible that you're one of them and you were paid by the ETN program to come in here and shill. But that doesn't happen on here because I don't get enough viewers. So for ETN though, like this is the structure that I like to look at if I'm looking for something that can do a large gain. Because look how low it is. It has bottomed for a long time. It has accumulated, it has traded sideways on low volatility, low volume. That's very, very indicative of accumulation behavior. If sellers wanted to sell more, they would have sold it way, way further down. This is what happens when a coin accumulates, and then price goes sideways. You get a sign of strength, and you correction, and then you usually push to the upside. So. Yeah, Chewy says, I worked in the live music industry. We do not anticipate having any work for another year. Jeez, man. I will say this. Just got to turn the camera on, man. Get out there, brother. Wook Chewy, I want to give you a shout out, man, because you said something about festivals and you've worked in the live music industry. Hit me up on Discord, man. Hit me up with Discord. That would be a good conversation. See where you've been. Let's see here. Sneaks123 says, Justin, good to see you live. Can I look at Atom Cosmos? I can. Oh boy, we're getting there. I'm gonna have to speed this up. All right, so let's finish Electroneum. Yeah, indicators aren't gonna help too much, but of course, look at bottom feeder. Just buying this the whole way down. Just a soldier, man. Bottom feeder bought this all the way down. This is on the weekly, mind you. Bottom feeder bought all the way down, and it was worth it. And bottom feeder only signaling poorly one time. And one could argue that that's not even, I get it. That's going to be a losing trade. That's a bad candle to eat, right? That is 25% correction on the next week. But it tells you to stack up here and here on this close and this close. And then you get this. Get a 16% from open to close. And then what is that? 40% wick? Doesn't call this one, unfortunately. But it does get this correction. And it does get these right there. We're not getting that signal right now, but I do like where we're at for ETN. I would want to look at I would want to look at, I would want to look at sentiment. I would want to look at a few other things, because for ETN, this is not going to be a PTP trade. This wouldn't be any objective strategy trade. This would be, okay, are there things in positions where they can actually appreciate? Which ETN doesn't look too bad. Plus, he knows all the best. Hey, did you just quote MC Chris, GBU Wally? Oh, you're the man, dude. You are the man. Oh, dude. All right, cool. Listen, I'm very woe to say something positive about Electronium because of my experience with it. Not mine, but and it is a shit coin, but the chart does look good. All right, the chart looks good. The volume seems right. Yeah. Now I'm kind of forced to take another look at this because I like to make money. Got to look for what's going to perform differently. All right, Cardano. You guys aren't going to want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear me about Cardano, but I think Cardano is an outlier. I think Cardano will or has the potential to move differently. The daily, we're just a little bit more oversold than everything else. I like this plunge. I kind of view this as a potential to take a buying opportunity, not as a sell-off. And we've tried this before. We tried the bottom feeder signal on the daily with Cardano, not ADA USD, but ADA BTC, and was the wrong place. So, I'm fundamentally wrong about ADA, and there's nothing that's fundamentally valuable to push it up following the Shelley hard fork and the staking that is going to become available on it, or I'm right. And there is something special about ADA, and you should look at what's retraced the most when you're looking at what you want to enter, right? This is why, for example, Link had further down to go. Don't ask me to look at Link. Kusama. I don't really have any thoughts on Kusama. It's pumping. God bless America. Of the DeFi coins, and this is probably shameful for me, but it is what it is. I really don't know anything about Kusama. Yeah, very, very fresh on Uniswap here too. So I'd have to pull it up on CoinGecko. But we don't really need to. It's been bullish. We'd have to look at sentiment. I don't want to do that right now because when I do that, that takes time. So maybe tomorrow. Orchid. Orchid was at San Francisco Blockchain Week 2019. And if you just throwing this out there, guys, go to San Francisco Blockchain Week next time you can, and you will learn about the projects that will likely be pumping in the next year. Orchid was there. They threw a very nice party. Orchid, and I'd have to look into it because I haven't looked into the particulars, right? But Orchid was and is, for all intents, a good project, good developers, genuine things. And there was a lot of excitement and interest in Orchid when we were at San Francisco Blockchain Week. It was a newer project that not a lot of people had heard about, but you could see, I pay attention to, well, how many people are going up to that booth? Not just normies looking for a t-shirt, but individuals going up to that booth and who are people in the industry, right? So looking at where influencers go, looking at where money goes, just paying attention. And there was a lot of interest in Orchid. So I'm assuming that they had a lot of positions. I do think that they were, I don't really have the answers, my friend. OXT USD ran up because it ran up. OXT was the one. Sometimes you win big, sometimes you win the Powerball, and sometimes you win another scratch-off ticket, Let's see, Tezos. I still have Tezos. I haven't sold my Tezos. I'm baking my Tezos. We're pulling back down to previous resistance. We'll see if we get a reaction. We are on the daily here, most likely in a bearish trend. No, not in a bearish trend. So Tezos in a bullish trend above 286.89. So I don't think this is going to hold right here. Just looking at Tezos, I think we are going to break this low. So I wouldn't be buying here, but 286. Yeah. 286.89. And I'm going to hold my Tezos because I've decided to I've sold some of my Tezos, but I have an okay amount of Tezos. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to bake it. I didn't hold barely anything down past, let's say, mid 2018, right? I was out of most of my cryptocurrency positions. And, you might be like, oh, that's awesome. Like, you didn't lose a lot of money. No, I made a ton of money. But I kind of wish I had held more altcoins down and experimented with different things like staking and running masternodes, right? I focused instead on like writing code and building strategies and educating and mentoring. And I wish I would have spent a little bit more time nerding out on crypto, because those skills would have been useful when they were necessary, right? Yeah, Phil, I remember seeing you in San Francisco, my friend. eToro did throw a pretty good party. I apologize to anybody that I offended while I was there. Top Hat says, many thanks. I got a bit burnt on the rally. I really would like to hear your view on Link. I am of the opinion currently that Link is, and this is going to piss people off, the Link is not a valuable project, right? From what I understand, it's not being utilized. Now, I have been corrected about that on the stream, but I have not yet seen the evidence, and the onus is on me to do it, so I'm just sharing my opinion. Hold on a second. Let's do Adam, and then I'm going to look at Link, and then we're going bye-bye. All right. Sorry, guys. Cosmos. Look. Don't buy this. Don't buy this top, guys. Please don't do it. If you're holding Adam, heck, continue to hold Adam, because you don't know how long or how far this is going to go. That's a very weak pullback. That's almost no sell side liquidity. Yeah, and no exit signal. So Adam looks good. You don't know how far these things are going to pump. So don't make my mistake and sell too early. Just let it ride. But take profits at opportune moments, like, oh, RSI is oversold again. Overbought again. Time to sell 20%. And just scale out on the way up so you don't run into liquidity crunches. You do not want to be trying to exit a trading position after a large red candle. It's a pain, especially if you have a large position. You are grasping for liquidity, and then you get slippage, and that's terrible. Do not recommend buying Adam at this price level. We are overbought. We are getting bearish divergence. Could happen a few more times. It has happened once. Yep, so 1, 2, 3. So this would be the third one. What do we even do as far as order blocks? Yeah, there's nothing here. If you're holding Adam, you're well positioned to sell a bit. Continue to hold with a trailing stop loss. Otherwise, come on, man. This is not a chart you buy. And Link. So I am want to believe the research report that Link is basically not being utilized. Thank you, Top Hat. Again, Link looks very much like, what did we just look at? Tezos, with the same kind of bottoming structure. Do not think this will actually hold. The only thing that people have going, really looking at this chart, is that this is a retest of previous resistance. And so far, we've seen a reaction. We are forming a higher low on the daily. But I want to see us actually... Listen, there's a good setup here for a trade just based off the higher low, to be honest with you, and the retest of previous resistance as support. But I call them fib trades, you know what I mean? Where, you would, if I said we're going to take a trade from here, right? Then you would be like, okay, cool. Where are you looking to take it? Like up to here or maybe up here? No, more like, let me turn on magnet mode. When I look at trade setups like this, more often than not, the answer is like, yeah, we're looking to take it like right here. And the reason why is because what we're really doing is using 3 screens, right? We're going down on the hourly. Yeah, I just did that. Magic. But yeah, I mean, what we've done is we've basically blown out support and we've just stopped a whole bunch of people out. There's a lack of pressure here. So a lot of sellers have sold or been stopped out. So there's natural dynamics that can push price up. And here on the hourly, what do we find? A buy signal, right? But it's not like a breakout trade. It's a range trade. So we're looking to take it somewhere within the range. That's why I call them fib trades, because you're not really, measuring, up and above. You're doing a retracement, right? Or those are common ways to do it. So what did this thing do? 50% retracement? Boom, done. Trade's over. Now you can wait for another setup on this time frame, for example, like another lower high, or higher low. Another higher low, or another buy signal, or another whatever setup you like, or breaking resistance here at 1460. Yeah, I think there's intraday trades on Link. The volatility is there. Recommend the FTX perpetuals. But I think that Link has more room to correct here, guys. Unless the entire market pushes up, but just looking at everything. Let's see here. Lino founder. Pretty sure, unless I'm crazy. Listen. I'm going to check. But no, I think you're. What do you guys think? Should I follow the Hexologist here on DLive? I'm going to give him a follow. Only because quite a few of the guys have made money off X. I was just going to say, Lino founder, pretty sure, but I interviewed Charles from Lino. Cool dude. I thought he had the same name, but I checked out your channel. I'm pretty sure that's not you. So I don't know if you're catfishing me, but let's see here. Yeah, up your podcasting game, man. Like this, everybody, well, not everybody. All right, listen. If you've got a pretty good message and you can say, and if you have something interesting to say, and just the courage and conviction to just speak, right? Just go out there and produce content. You have to get yourself out there, right? Do not be afraid to market yourself. Do not be afraid to sell yourself. Do not be afraid to tell people that you're good at what you do, if you are. And I'll tell you this is the best piece of advice. This is the best piece of advice that I ever received in my life. If you are not confident about your ability to perform a task, but you have evidence to the contrary, like you have your friends come to you for it, but you feel insecure about it, it's okay to feel that way. It is okay to feel not just to have a lack of confidence. But there's a difference between feeling a lack of confidence and not doing anything. Get your ass off the couch, go out there, do something new, do something with your time, do something valuable, do something that you enjoy, and find a way to make money off that, because people will reward you. It's not pay you. People will reward you if you solve problems for them or improve the quality of their life. And if you make good content, if you provide good advice, if you're entertaining, there's many, many reasons that people will not pay you. They will reward you for providing good quality content. So that's some of the best advice that I ever received in my life. You have to internalize it, but get up off the couch, guys. Make your life yours. Let's do this. All right. Sorry, guys. Tired. Not going to lie. I said I went down that rabbit hole last night. Did not get a whole lot of sleep last night. So a little rambly, a little off topic, a little slurred speech, whatever. That's what 2 hours of sleep will do to you. Now, thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode. You guys know what to do. If you guys are not subscribed, you can do so. Hit the like button. Does help us out. Avoid the shadow ban. But I think that we're kind of, we're just going to have to deal with that no matter what. Let's see here. We got, yeah, you guys can see it now. Yeah. So here's the, Bybit sent me that WSOT. I'm going to go ahead and give away what is in here. So let's go ahead and, this will be a good opportunity. Let's go ahead and look at what's in there. All right. That is over there. Sorry. All right. So we are going to be giving away these sunglasses. I don't know exactly why. Yeah, I guess these are cool, but yeah. We'll be giving these away. And what do we got? We already talked about the Prism. Boom. Prism. WSOT Prism. And two other things. All right, we got the WSOT messenger bag with the clip behind here. So that's a third item. And it's like breaking the fourth wall, isn't it? Yes. You guys know I wear pants now for shows. Pretty cool shirt, WSOT. I'm not gonna lie. This is I have like 3 Bybit shirts, and Bybit doesn't mess around with quality. Like this shirt feels nice, like super nice. So yeah. I'm not gonna lie. If the shirt fit me, I would keep it. I like shirts, but it's just, I can just tell it's just a little too big. So if you if you got a little broader shoulders than me, I'm 6 foot, I'm 6 foot, about 195. So I'm a little too tiny for it, right? A little too tiny. I got to muscle up. But hey, I did start my day with deadlifts, so I'm on the right track. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys in the Discord. If you're watching, if you're new to the channel and you want to begin a journey toward profitable trading, we do a lot. We have a lot to offer. You can visit the website at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Links are not in the description because we don't really do that anymore. But I'm going to put them in there, and then I'm also going to put a comment down with links to anything you might need. Yeah, but most importantly, just join the Discord and be good to each other, guys. I do want to end on this note, guys. I'm not exactly sure. I'm leaning. Certainly, my sentiment is bullish. Let's put it this way: the trades that matter most to me, are bullish, and August has been an amazing month. Like, we've been crushing it in this market cycle. I've been able to even. I've been able to make. I don't really have the words. This bull market's been very, very good to me. This bull market's been very good to you. Good to me. I hope it's been good to you guys as well. I do know that it is time for us to begin executing on the alternative plan to protect ourselves. It's just, I want to see confirmation of that. I saw the first sign with gold. There's a few things that I'm watching right now, but when it happens, at the end of the day, you got to flip your fingers. You got to flip the switch. You have to move everything over into protection mode. You have to get your hedging on, and you got to do things right. Also, I want to mention, if you guys are focused on privacy and security, which you absolutely need to, all right? Let me tell you guys, when I was first setting up MetaMask's mobile wallet and utilizing their sync feature with the Chrome extension, and I did this, and for an hour, right? What I got on MetaMask on mobile was no Ethereum, no balance, no nothing. And, redid it, like 6, 7, 8, 9 times. And so for an hour, I have two monitors, one in which I'm troubleshooting and researching, and one in which I am furiously, upswiping my Etherscan balance to make sure that I just didn't get catfished. You don't want to deal with those, scares. So also, suggestion, if you are syncing your MetaMask from your Chrome extension, create a new account on the Chrome extension MetaMask. Always do that when you're connecting dApps so that you don't freak out. Try it, see if it works with no money, and then try it with money, just to make sure they're not. Anyways, our friends over at Spectre Security Coin. Let me see if I can't find that link. Our friends over at Spectre Security Coin have a new program. They just announced it in their Discord, so make sure to go check it out. Spectre.crackingcryptocurrency.com. If you want to buy any of their products or services, you can use the coupon code Get Cracking at checkout for a 10% discount. But what they are basically they're tutorials. They're going to teach you guys how to perform and really navigate the space safely. And I am programming. XD says, you're new to the crypto. I want to spend $1,000 and make it 2,000 in 30 days. Then you're going to have to get lucky, my friend. You're going to have to get lucky. And we just mentioned a whole bunch of coins, so you can click back. One of them is going to do that. What I recommend instead is that you knock out that 30 days, you get rid of that 2,000, and instead you realize that, wow, this crypto thing did a real number. Look at these gains, 10x, 20x, 30x, 1,000%. Maybe, and I'm telling you, it's possible. You can put in time and you can gain the experience and knowledge necessary so that when this opportunity comes around again, you take advantage of it, right? And you won't be trying to turn $1,000 into $2,000. You'll be trying to turn whatever you possibly have into generational wealth, all right? I recommend that. And if you're interested in that, join us in the Discord. Until next time, guys, cheers. By the way, thank you so much, Wally, for the $5, Brosif. How do we get the t-shirt? I will announce that on Twitter, my guys. We will do a giveaway for the t-shirt, the glasses, the Prism Cube, if Jason doesn't steal it later today, and the bag. I will announce how to do that. I will cover the shipping. Have a good one, guys.